Today's episode of Dating Disasters features Letitia, a woman who met a man on a date that almost became a nightmare from a horror movie.
Hi, my name is Letitia. I am 38 years old. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm going to tell you about my terrifying dating experience in hopes that it'll help you guys stay safe. It was about a year or so ago. I met this guy on a dating site. We talked for a couple weeks. He seemed nice and charming, and he seemed like a great guy. And so after about 3-4 weeks, he decided to ask me out on a date. Well, there was this new hot little bar/restaurant downtown that we decided to go to. And I was really excited because everybody had been talking about it. It was supposed to be this great place. So to my surprise, he actually showed up on time and was dressed amazing. Walked over and gave me a big old huge hug like he'd known me forever. So it started off really great. We sat down at the bar and we had a drink while we were waiting for dinner. And then at dinner, he was sweet, funny, charming. And then all of a sudden, he switched up and wasn't anymore. It didn't help that he started drinking drink after drink after drink after drink after drink. I would start telling a sentence, or telling a story about me, and then he would cut me off mid-sentence and make it all about him. He kept doing that over and over and over. So I started getting annoyed, and I told him that I would be right back. I needed to go to the bathroom. I needed to get myself together. So I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I had left my phone on the table, and he's staring at it hard and intense. And it just didn't sit right with me. So I asked him, I was like, hey, did you touch my phone? And he just started laughing, and he's like, oh, it was just curiosity. Like, it wasn't a big thing. First red flag, why would you touch my phone, and what were you looking for in my phone? So I let it slide, and then the night went on. After dinner, he suggested that we go for a walk down by the river because it was a nice night. The moon was out, the stars was out. And against my better judgment, I said, sure, why not? Thinking to myself, maybe I was just being a little too judgmental, or maybe he was just overdoing it because nerves or whatever. And I figured, hey, why not? That's a nice path. No crimes have ever happened there. There's lots of street lamps and everything. So against my better judgment, again, I said, sure. So we're walking. And then almost instantly, he pulls out his phone and says, hey, you should let me track you in case you get lost. What? Hold the phone. Red flag number 2. First of all, why would I let you track me? And why would I be getting lost? Do you plan on doing something to me? So I just said no and smiled. And about that time, I suggested maybe we should turn around and go back. And he said, well, let's go through this alley. And I said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And right about then, he grabbed my wrist really hard and just gave me this evil smile and was like, just trust me. And about that time, every bone in my body said run. So I yanked free and I ran as fast as I could without looking back. And as I'm running, I could hear this evil laugh and him just screaming my name. I didn't dare turn around and stop to look. I just kept running and running so fast that I didn't even realize I was close to the main street. I ended up bursting out running into the middle of the street. Almost got hit by a taxi. The guy leaned out the window yelling, hey, are you okay? And I said, "No," and he can see how frazzled I was. He said, "Jump in," and so I jumped in, and I said, "Go," and I gave him my address, and I always remember as I looked out out the rear view window, I could see him standing in the middle of the street, and he's just hollering my name. "I love you, I love you." And as we're driving to my house, I tell the taxi driver about what had just happened, and so he insisted on walking me to my door, make sure everything was all right. And I watched him leave and close my gate. Well, then I locked my door and jumped in the shower and got ready for bed for the next day. And then it dawned on me. He pinged my last location, so he has my address. So right away, I pick up the phone and I call the police to let them know what had happened. And they said there's nothing that they can do. So I made sure all my windows were locked, my doors were locked, and I went to lay down and sometime ended up falling asleep. So the next day I got up and got ready for work and was heading out of my house to leave for work. And then all of a sudden I stopped dead in my tracks because I see that my gate is wide open, which I knew it wasn't when I went to sleep. So that prompted me to start looking around, and outside my bedroom window, I have a garden. And as I was looking around, I noticed that there's 2 fresh footprints because my sprinkler system goes off every day. So there's fresh footprints facing my bedroom window, like someone was staring in my bedroom window. So automatically I ran inside, called off work, called the police, filed a police report, got a restraining order, and then I called the security system place and had them come install security cameras and everything. I have to say it took months of me checking the cameras every day and the cops patrolling the neighborhood before I even started feeling safe or even feel like I couldn't even think about being safe. So I guess the moral is I got lucky, but make sure you do your research. Make sure you figure out who you're actually going out with and do a background check on them if you have to. And just be sure because the they ain't always what they seem. He seemed like a nice, decent guy, and come to find out, he already had like 2 charges of stalking on his record from before that I didn't know nothing about. I got away lucky, but not everybody does. So just make sure you check who you're going out with and know who you're talking to and know what they're about.
Thankfully, Letitia avoided what could have been a real horror nightmare. Stay safe, daters, and always research your dates.